We often overlook the small things in life, but I've come to realize that the seemingly insignificant parts are as important as the bigger ones. In the sports world, this small thing is recreational sports. For those of you who don't know, recreational sports are activities done for fun instead of working towards a competition or a championship title. Now, some of you who know me might be asking, Isen, why do you care about recreational sports? You're a competitive gymnast, not a recreational one. And you're right. For the longest time, I despised recreational sports. My teammates and I on the competitive side made fun of the rec kids who had low training hours, were clueless about gymnastics, and can't even do a backflip yet. But as I said, the impact of the smaller things often go unnoticed. And over the last 2 years, I've come to realize the importance of recreational sports for the inclusivity of a community and its attitude towards success. By the end of the speech, you'll also be able to recognize these hidden benefits that the programs offer. To start, I'm going to share with you how I came to realize recreational sports' importance for the attitude of a community. It's a story from when I first started coaching, around 1.5 years ago. Now, something you probably know about gymnastics is that landings are super important. So I made a drill for my kids to learn them. It was simple. All you had to do was climb up onto this platform, jump off, and land on a mat. Easy, right? I thought it was flawless, and really, who wouldn't? But I was wrong. Because my class had little 4-year-old Emma in it, and Emma was terrified of the jump. In my defense, I thought the height of the platform wouldn't be an issue. I mean, it was only this tall. But you have to realize that for a 4-year-old, this tall is actually about this tall. And so when little Emma climbs up onto the platform and peers over the edge at the mat far below, she gets a little scared. And she says, Coach, I don't think I can do this one. Well, first my assistant tries to help her. She says, it's okay, Emma, you can jump off. The mat is super soft, I promise. But Emma's having none of that and climbs down from the platform. I still want her to learn the skill though, so the next week we do the drill again. And this time I try to help her. I say, Emma, how about this? You take my hands and I'll help you jump down. And that way it'll be less scary. And she considers it, but in the end, she goes, no way, I'm not doing it, and climbs down. I still want her to do it though, and apparently I wasn't the only one, because next class, her dad shows up, and now we have backup. So all 3 of us, the assistant, myself, and dad, gather around this platform, coaxing this girl into jumping off the platform, and finally, she walks over to the edge, leans forward, and jumps, landing very safely on the mat. We have a whole celebration. Dad is stoked, the assistant coach and I are super excited, and Emma's happy too, because she was promised hot dogs if she jumped. It's a celebration of small things like this that set recreational sports apart from the rest. When I learned a skill that I've been afraid of for 4 years, my coach just said, nice, now go do some push-ups. Recreational sports invoke accomplishment for the difficult battles that nobody seems to notice. You overcame a fear? Celebration. You fixed your golf swing? Celebration. And oh, you learned how to skate without the walker holding you up? Well, celebration. They promote a culture of celebrating people for overcoming their own obstacles instead of other teams or competitors. And as a result, your success in that sport becomes defined by how much you've grown instead of by how many medals you have or how many trophies you've won. I attribute this attitude towards success to the enjoyment I see every time I coach and the reason that so many kids come back to recreational sports every year. It isn't just the programs that benefit though, it's the kids too. Think about it. Not only are we giving them a fun way to be physically active, but we're providing the foundations for good mental health in the future. Truly, seeing your personal wins being valued is a reminder that you matter, and that message will stay with those kids for the rest of their lives. Recreational sports are important not just for the community, but also the individual, and that's why it's so good for us to have them. It isn't just this attitude around achievement that led me to appreciate recreational sports though. No, for me, their best quality is the inclusivity they provide. That's the biggest thing I've noticed over my time as a coach, and I've only just now come to realize exactly why they're so good for this cause. I'll explain it to you too. But first, I need to bring you to a different world, a world without recreational sports, one where they don't exist and never have. Now, right away when you get to this world, you'll notice that it looks a little strange because nobody is doing a sport. No games of catch, no minor league football, and no Timbit soccer either. Because in this world, if you want to play a sport, you need to be good. And the standard for good is pretty high. Now, for some people, that might not be a problem. But my friend Emily is a little worried. Because Emily's just turned 40, and it's getting harder and harder to keep up with the standard while also keeping up with her job. Ryan over here is facing a similar issue. He's a heavy-set guy, but he doesn't want that to pull him away from doing sports and physical activity. He is the most dedicated person you'll ever meet, but track and field just rejected him because he wasn't able to run fast. Out of all the people who aren't allowed to play a sport because they don't meet the standard, I think the most disappointed is little Eli. Now, Eli is only 7, but he lost mobility in his left arm due to an accident. Still, he wanted to play a sport, so he went to football team tryouts. And in football tryouts, they take one look at him and they say, nope, you don't meet the standard. Next. All right, Eli still wants to play a sport though, so he goes to gymnastics. And at gymnastics, they say, well, we might let you in. Can you do a double backflip yet? No, Eli cannot do a double backflip yet. And so he's kicked out of there too. But he keeps trying, and everywhere he goes, the pattern keeps on repeating itself. All the different clubs and all the different sports and all the different teams keep saying the same thing. And Eli, along with Ryan and Emily and so many other people, find themselves trapped in this cage, this void, where they're unable to play a sport. Now, what's scary about this imaginary world is how close it is to our own. Take away recreational sports, and all these people miss out on the opportunity to do an activity. These aren't made-up people either. They're very real and all around us. And I know that for a fact because I coach one of them. Eli, though that's not his real name, lost mobility in his arm and came to my club to see if he could do gymnastics even with his impairment. Now, to be completely honest with you, gymnastics is a super hard sport to do when you can only use one arm. But because we have a recreational program that doesn't require the standard, he was able to do it no problem. And it's not just him. I've coached over 200 different kids, all with different needs, and I know that it's because of the accommodation, because we don't require that standard, that they can do this sport I know will be a huge part of their lives. Truly, the importance of recreational sports is understated. They're the backbone of a community's attitude towards success. They're a reminder that the things you accomplish are valuable, and they accommodate for all members of a community to ensure that nobody is left without an activity. That's what I love most about recreational sports. They don't care how old you are, what you look like, or how many goals you can score. All that matters is that you keep showing up and keep kicking the ball. It's unconditional love in the form of golf swing or a backflip. And that's exactly what I want in my sports community. Thank you.